Welcome to my weekly chat at Seopa. I'm happy to join you guys. Happy New Year. Hope you guys are having a great day. Love the hearts. That's fantastic. My name is Bob Umar. I'm a four-time TEDx speaker, one of Inc. magazine's top 100 leadership speakers. And most recently, I was named the top 7 networking gurus to follow on Twitter. And I'm here because I'm sharing a weekly hey Nancy, good to see you. Sharing a weekly chat here on Facebook. There's my cat. Hey Varla, let's say hi to cat. And to share a weekly chat with Periscope to seize your passion. The topic today is conversation keepers. And again, I'm from Toronto, Canada. Let me know where you're from. Type below where you're from. You can see we're doing stuff all the time. All our videos on Seopa. Welcome to have you guys here. It's really, really great. In fact, just this morning I sent out my annual New Year's newsletters, just reflecting on the last year, as well as telling people, wishing people a fantastic New Year and hope they're doing well. So it was a lot of fun. So that in itself was a conversation keeper because I shared a lot of stuff. Now, Sean, glad you're here. Glad to have you. Again, if you have any questions about the topics, about leadership, entrepreneurship, seizing your passion, or about the topic of conversation starters, put them below. Let me know where you're from. I'm from Toronto, Canada, home of the Raptors. If you like the hearts, share the hearts, double tap, triple tap the hearts. Share us on Twitter, share us on Facebook. Let's get people part of the conversation. So, conversation keepers. I mean, have you ever had an amazing conversation with somebody that you're like, wow, that's a keeper? I mean, how do you know what they are? That to me is something that we often don't realize, or we don't recognize the opportunity to actually get into that amazing conversation that becomes a conversation keeper. Sometimes you're talking about silly things like the weather, or about an award show, or you talk about something going on about people or events, but all of a sudden the idea comes in where you start to dive deeper, and that to me is an amazing thing where you can get to the point where you start sharing some really, really deep stuff. So one of the things I want to talk about is, in terms of conversation keepers, how to create them, but also how to identify them. So how do you identify you have a conversation keeper is the first thing. So one way to identify that a conversation is a conversation keeper is that there's a series of vulnerability that's part of it. Someone shares something really deep and personal with you, like about their fears or their hopes, or something bad happened to their health, or they talk about something deep and personal like politics or sex or religion or things like that. Then that is something that vulnerability that they're struggling with. They're struggling with money. They're struggling with whatever, with their parents. When they share that to me is an identification that this may be a conversation keeper. And if that happens, you should do everything you can to invest, offer support, and really try to make the most of that conversation. So that's the first thing. The second thing that comes with identifying a conversation keeper is, in the middle of a conversation, someone might say, hey, Bobby, this has been a really amazing conversation, or I'm really enjoying this talk, or wow, I really appreciate the stuff we talked about. When someone actually states it, they actually state that, wow, or amazing, or I love this, or I love this topic, then you know that there's a conversation keeper going on. And so if that's the case, then again, you should do everything you can to invest in that conversation and to kind of roll with it and get as much as you can out of it. I think that can really help people out. So when people actually state it, they were compelled and motivated to actually state something that it's a conversation keeper. So to me, that's a huge thing. And then a third example of a conversation keeper, and this is actually good because I was just talking before this. I was FaceTiming my friend from Germany, a wonderful friend, one of my favorite friends in my life. And she's like, yeah, I miss talking to you. I miss our connection. And so one of the things we did is we rehashed a conversation that we had last time. And we started getting into, we took on something that we talked about a year and a half ago, that when we met in Germany. And then what we talked about a few weeks ago when we had our first our Skype date, and we just rehashed it. And the fact that you're rehashing it tells you that's a conversation keeper. It's something that's really important to us. And we both talked about our struggle between being an entrepreneur and also wishing that we had the same structure of people around us and structure around us and process around us that we had when we were in the corporate world. And it was a fantastic conversation. But the fact that we rehashed it tells you that we've identified that as a conversation keeper. Now, the last 2 points I want to make in terms of conversation keepers is, how do you make sure a conversation is a keeper? Well, one is to always ask open-ended questions and be really forthcoming with the questions. And sometimes you ask question after question after question, really drill down and drill deep into the issues and the emotions and the feelings that we're having. So if you're willing to ask those questions, I think that's going to go a long way to creating an amazing conversation keeper for yourself. And then the second thing that I'll say in terms of creating amazing conversation keepers is while you're talking with somebody, to keep reiterating what's going on and summarizing the points that have been made and summarizing the places you want to go. And if you can do that, you'll do a much better job of being able to keep the conversation going and to create a conversation that actually becomes what we call a keeper. And at the end of the day, again, if you've done all these things, you've created some really incredible conversations. You'll want to rehash them again. You may want to have the same conversation with somebody else. Hey, I just had this really amazing conversation with so and so about this topic. What do you think? And now you're starting another amazing conversation with somebody else. So those are some of my thoughts on conversation keepers. I know it's a little bit short today, but again, I'll stay online if you have any questions about conversation keepers, the topics. If you have any questions about seizing your passion, or any questions for me, just random questions. You know what? I'm happy to take them on. You can just comment below, post below whatever questions you might have, and I'm happy to take them on because, again, I'm here every week to help entrepreneurs and business people and even career enthusiasts to help them better seize their passion, to find ways to in a nutshell, is a conversation keeper is a confidant. Well, sometimes you'll find a conversation keeper is it's the moment that you have with somebody where you share something deep and powerful. They don't necessarily have to be a confidant. I've had some of the best conversation keeper moments of my life with people that are not close confidants. But what's amazing about that is that when you're willing to put yourself out there and be vulnerable, be authentic, ask open-ended questions, tell people how much you value the conversation, you're actually going to create even more amazing moments with them, as well as a deeper connection. And they might end up becoming a confidant. That German girl I talked about, yeah, she and I become a confidant because we talk about everything: politics, sex, religion, you name it. We talk about all the deep personal stuff that we as people and humans think about and struggle with on a daily basis. So, having confidants is fantastic. And I do have several of them, and they all serve different purposes. But I'm an open book. I share myself very, very openly about things. In fact, if you got my newsletter, my annual holiday newsletter for the new year, I went really, really deep on my health challenges. I talked about politics. I talked about my business. I talked about my family. I talked about my father-in-law who'd passed away last year. Got really emotional, man. Got really emotional. But that's how you do it. That's how you have conversations that create value, create great memory, and create and expand our hearts. And that's really what the whole point of Conversation Keeper is all about. So if you have any other questions, you can post them below. I'll stay on for a little bit longer. Otherwise, what are your plans for 2017? What's exciting you about this year? For me personally, I'm launching a series of webinars that I'm doing. I'm doing a webinar with another friend of mine on how to roadmap your life and create a life of purpose. I'm doing a webinar on one of my favorite webinars and very popular ones, how to land your first TEDx talk. I'm doing that one as well. And I'm doing another webinar. Actually, I'm doing a re-recording of one of my networking mastery programs because I had to re-record it. And it's going to be about how to create deep, authentic, powerful connections with people and how to create a plan for networking to like that. So you really need someone like you to tell you, yeah, well, again, the best way to find someone to talk to, Sean, is to put yourself out there and just say, listen, I'm looking for a few people to share a deep, powerful conversation with and see who responds. And if they don't, then, again, go to your network. You may have one or two good friends. See if they have a few other people they would refer you to. I mean, that's the power of networking connection. You're only going to get the help if you ask. So if you ask, then people are willing to help you out. So that's something I think would be a great way to get things going. So anyways, I hope you guys are well. Check out the rest of the videos we've done over the past year on seopa.com/stream. You can revisit this one, check out the replay, share with your friends. I'll be here every week at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to help you guys seize your passion. And I wish you guys all the best this week. You can also find me at rayhan.com as well as on Snapchat, Twitter, and everything, and Instagram at rayhanbobby. All right? Talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye.